Good evening, lady and gents, what's happening? Stay macking with my teams, nothing looking clean in the caption. Every day life is a movie, but this no acting. We roll this weed, plot on our dreams, then we proceed. Don't never front, never change, still the same, and this is how I come. Black skelly, black boots, comfortable in the booth. This that Cooley comfy vibe, go and free your mind, man, our time flies. We young, gifted, and we hot on the grind, getting better. Gotta chase my dreams. Every day I get stronger. Smoking, I relieve.
Abuse the power and shit, like politicians and all is over abusing power and shit, like just to try to control the masses and group you into things you might not agree upon and shit, like you being as an individual and making individual choices how you see fit. They try to deem that shit as a bad thing, and it's not. That's the most should be the most logical thing for a human being to do and shit. But people want to just follow with that shit, and they using powers to try to control people, mandating shit to try to control people, giving you ultimatums, telling you gonna lose your job if you don't do this, try to control people. People willingly giving up their freedom because of fear, using fear to gain more power, to control people. And that shit is crazy. Like, you don't see that shit, like, then you really must be sheep out here.
You retarded.
And you know what happened to the sheep, man? They get devoured by wolves. So, like, come on. You know what I'm saying? They get devoured by wolves. They out here using the internet also to try to manipulate and change history, to try to change certain things that you once learned before. They try to just rewrite the history books, like, you know what I'm saying? That goes to even our movies, right? All our movies that we loved as a kid and shit. Now, growing up, now they going back redoing them and adding extra shit in there. That, you know what I mean? Like, instead of just making something new and incorporating that, you know, those lifestyles and things like that in there, and those type of characters in your own shit, like some original, organic shit that presents the present day in society and the world today. No, you want to go back and just redo our shit and just change every fucking thing, like just try to rewrite everything, redo everything. We don't got to do that. We can just start something new here and still keep your things here. What happened to variety? You know what I mean? Options and shit. You know what I'm saying? Now they try to take options and choices away from people and shit. But they using that fear to try to control the masses, man. Because they know you're afraid of something that you should be afraid of, but you've been brainwashed and manipulated to be afraid and conditioned to be afraid of this shit. Stop giving up. You can't give these people the power, man. You can't give that power back. It's gonna lead us to something a lot of people ain't ready for it, man. It's gonna lead us to something a lot of people ain't ready for it. You gotta start thinking for yourself and shit. You gotta start seeing things for what it is instead of what you wanted to see, what you wanted to be and shit. Talking to Watson Boy earlier, and he was talking about the Matrix. I was like, people was kind of like that guy in the Matrix, the first movie. I can't even. Oh, that dude Cypher, yeah. Where he turned on him, the dude that betrayed him, and he turned on Neo and them and shit. And like, he ain't care. He was just like, yo, he'd rather be in the Matrix than knowing being out with them, being a rebel and knowing the truth and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, yo, I just want the steak, this, that, and the third. Like, he don't give a fuck. He just wanted to be in the Matrix. He just wanted to live the lifestyle. And Joe's like, yeah. Then it's like, that shit made sense to him when he's like, when that nigga took a piece of the steak and bit it, it's like, ignorance is bliss.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, yo, that's how people is right now. Shit's like, yo, y'all know the truth, but y'all refusing to really know the truth because y'all want to live in this fairy tale land and shit. You know what I mean? But then they were saying, like, and I was saying too, I was like, I heard something where someone said, when you knowing more things and knowing more, like gaining more knowledge brings misery or some shit, or you be miserable. The more you know, the more miserable you get. Because when you find out all this shit, it was just like, damn, it's like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Cause, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying,
like,
nigga.
You learn all this shit, and all this shit that you learning ain't good shit. You know what I mean? It's a lot of, you know what I mean? Not all the shit you learn ain't good shit, but it's some good shit, but it just, you start to realize things and see things from a different perspective, and you see things that, you know, you understand things, and certain things you see that you was lied to on certain things and all that. It's just like, you be baffled, like, whoa, and it kind of brings, you know, but that shit was deep. I understood that shit. But like, that's how people remind me of today, how they act and how they portray themselves today. They like cypher, son. They like cypher, son. They want the steak, they want the Birkin bags, they want all that shit.
They want ignorance.
Yeah. Yeah, keep that shit steady, son. I know you caught a can and shit up there, ain't paying attention.
Yeah. I caught a couple cans.
They don't, you gotta focus on that damn camera. You see, this is you talking.
Yeah, I got cans over here.
Yeah, get that shit up there, man.
I'm back.
He want everybody to see how he living. If y'all bash this nigga, that's on him.
Bash me. I don't give a damn.
Try to keep the cans.
I don't give a
camera.
Damn.
This nigga.
You gotta can your motherfuckers.
I mean, exactly, you're ignorant because I'm talking about cans, meaning you got cans scattered all over the place.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking shit, nigga. Man.
So I'm trying to hide the mess from being shown. You talk about I got one can, that's not a mess, you idiot. Like, son, let's keep the camera roll. Nigga, just hold the cameras. But yeah, son. Yo, the cartoon, but shit. That's why I'm putting my kids on this. All the cartoons we grew up on, not even just cartoons, the things we grew up on, and the things that I came upon as an adult, like conscious shit. I don't want to get them too damn, I don't want to fuck their head up too early. I just drop a gem in the mix, you know what I mean, every now and then shit. But the cartoons we watched growing up did that too. They was dropping gems in the mix, life lessons, certain days touch on certain topics that relate to what you was going through in life and shit. Like, they touched on certain things like that. Hey, Arnold touched on shit like that. Doug touched on shit like that. Yo, even Static Shock touched on shit like that, son. Remember that episode of Static Shock when Richie, his best friend father, found out that he was best friends with a black dude, which was Static Shock, and he was like, I don't want this dude over my house again. Like, it was that they was touching on shit like that, like the racism, like they was touching on shit like that in cartoons and shit, and it was like life lessons because the father learned the lesson by the end of the episode, but it was like kind of draw a mirror of life, you know what I mean? Like what they say, art imitates life, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And life imitates art, but that was art imitating life right there. That was like, you know what I mean? We had a lot of that. Well, some real shit though, like.
No, it's some real shit though.
Yeah. Like fucking. On Hey Arnold, when they touched on that shit with that rich girl, that was always the bougie chick with the red sweater and shit, mm-hmm. And she lost her riches and had to be poor and shit, and going through that experience had to humble her and shit, but it was like a humbling experience, and you know shit, people going through shit like that where they was going up and then they had to go through a rocky road and and those lessons were taught, because now it showed that person a different perspective and and then they gave different level of respect to those people that were, you know, on a less level than them, because now they get to see from their eyes because now they on the same level. So now they get to understand, that person get to understand it. They touched on that shit, you know what I mean? And then Arnold was always the positive person, and somebody be on some negative shit, Arnold would just bring a good, positive, lighthearted perspective and shit. Had motherfuckers like, damn, nigga, why you just gotta be positive about shit? Damn. I just want to be mad sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nah.
Real though.
Nah, that's some real shit and shit. That's why I posted that shit on Facebook. I said, sometimes you have to fall in order to rise. You know what I'm saying?
I think life is all about ups and downs, man. There's journeys, man. There's levels to this shit for real, son. There's really like, and then steps and stages like a video game. You know what I'm saying? Because we all go through phases in life and shit. You know what I'm saying? From when you're a child, as a teen, a young adult, and so on and so on. You're just going through phases. Depends on what you learning and absorbing in life and what you're adapting to and shit. Just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be really sitting back thinking about that shit. Like life, just in general, reflecting on shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you learn. It's just for me, it's like everything was like a video game, just taking through phases and stages, just learning this area and that area, learning this way, that way, all maneuvering through life and shit.
Mm-hmm. And life learns. Life learns.
How to learn how to move to workplaces, learn how to move around certain people and shit, learn how to move around certain environments, learn how to move around, you know what I mean? You just learning and adapting as you see, life goes and shit. If you that observing person, because I'll be just observing a lot of shit, putting pieces together, and just read into a lot of shit.
Nah, that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. A lot of people can't think like that, and that's where they fucking up. So, like you said a moment ago, it's like life is a video game, but it's similar to a video game because life understands. It's like the subconscious mind, the mind in general, it hears you, it hears everything, it hears people. And so if you're able to consciously like think, life understands that. It understands that. So yeah.
Love it. Love it. Right there. But yeah, son. See, I ain't even holding the camera, but I still got direction. But yeah, son. I just because Joe said something earlier that made sense about like the next generation, like our generation, like dies all type shit. The generation behind us won't even know what to do type shit, or this generation right now, because they so dependent. You know what I'm saying? So dependent on the government, so dependent on a lot of things, so dependent on technology, so dependent on a lot of things that all that shit would cease and just vanish tomorrow. Niggas wouldn't even know how to survive, most people.
Niggas would be lost. That's why we was talking about like fucking like getting hella canned foods and shit, like just having them shit staged.
Just have canned foods, flashlights, radios, whatever. Sets, whatever, backup generators, whatever, like all that shit, guns, have your shit loaded, locked and loaded. And just, you know what I mean, and just be and have, just be on your militant shit for real.
Dead ass.
The shit real in the battlefield. Even though people don't want to see it, they want to party every weekend, flex, stunt, look good. It's okay to look good. We all out here looking good, but you know what I mean. All about just that, just showing, just look this. It's like a popularity contest, man. It's like high school. That's what social media was. It's like one big high school. It ain't all about that though. Like, to me it seemed like even though the unity, some of that shit formed through social media, don't even be genuine and shit, just to gain more collateral for whatever, that person could bring to your life, your platform, whatever you got going on, and vice versa and shit. I mean, like a lot of things used to be a lot of things back then. How we came up was more organic, so it was more genuine, more natural, organic feel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now I feel like things are just met, or people would just form a relationship just for fair gain of what that person, could do for that person. instead of like really being genuine and shit. It's like what you can do for me, what I can do for you. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. And they only loyal to that until that shit is off.
Yeah, that shit is off like a motherfucking and
loyal
shit.
to that, so they can't be loyal to it no more. Or something else more greater and powerful to be loyal to or shit, whatever. You wonder where the mentality come from though. Like what's shaping these minds? You know what I'm saying? What's causing the mentality to be the way it is?
Motherfuckers just acceptable to bullshit.
But what causes that? How did it get like that?
True that. It's just, alright, so.
With that pipe or that bong, you on fire alarms. Met my niggas, met my aunt, you even met my moms. Give you mouth to mouth, and you tickle my lungs. You my favorite hobby, leave your sin on my body. Feel like I'm dreaming, take me to where it's cloudy. The room just be steaming, make my days feel like weekends. Help the winners keep winning, bring that joy from within us. When I hit it, goddamn, what a wonderful feeling. Give me spiritual healing, and your smell is appealing. Help bring out my brilliance, take me high through the ceiling. I want you in my life.
Make sure, yeah.
So damn deep on the shit, you too close to the mic. Yeah, nigga be sounding like Darth Vader and shit. Yo, it's like this. It's like, you know, like the rap music today, they lack morals and
Damn, you make me sound hella retarded and shit.
about
Damn, nigga, true.
is killing and stealing, and our kids don't need to hear that shit. Like we wasn't kids that grew up with the same type of music they talking about drug dealing and killing and stealing.
Got a whole mockery on
you. What you talking about, motherfucker? nigga, what? It's just the influence is strong today, nigga. Influence is like a drug, nigga. Influence is like a damn cancer, nigga. That shit have a struck. People influence on the minds today is powerful. That's like what goes back to what I said, motherfuckers getting hit with spells and brainwashing and shit they don't even fucking know, because these motherfuckers idolize and worship people too fucking much. You want to love, you want to care about you into them so fucking much, you want to know every detail and everything about you, want to know every footstep they make, every fucking thing they fucking do, every shit they take on the toilet, what food they eating, what girl they fucking, what nigga dick they sucking, whatever. Like, y'all just want to know every goddamn thing about them and be so obsessed with them. So they have a strong influence.
Hello?
I had 2 more minutes left, nigga. You hold that shit. Is back on?
Yeah.
This nigga, man. This nigga. Hold up. I'm the director, nigga.
Nigga, get to the
Hold
point.
up a little bit. I forgot where I was at now. This nigga.
Ain't no cans in the ain't no cans in the picture,
nigga
bro.
fucking with the foot haunch, man. You get scared like the car threw me off my damn shit, nigga. Yeah, nigga, shit, man. That real shit, that ill shit. That make you feel shit. Yeah, we grew up with the same type of music, but like I was saying, it's influence and all that other shit, nigga. The influence part of these motherfuckers idolize and worship, but these motherfuckers, excuse me, what you shouldn't do though. It's okay to like your entertainers and shit, but don't be all obsessed and shit like that. Nah, man, it's okay to be, to relate to people and shit, cause people, because they had similar backgrounds and had been through similar things, or they had felt a similar way that you could relate to. You know what I mean? And that's okay and shit, because you meet people on the daily like that. You know what I mean? That's how y'all create a friendship and a relationship and a bond and shit. But don't start worshiping and just taking everything they say is law and is God and shit, because they are human beings just like you, and they make mistakes just like us and shit. Hold up. What the fuck is you doing? I'm just about to like just like us, and they might get an idea, or they might learn something, or they might come across some information and shit, and might be really, you know, believing in it just like us, and might become, you know, might be wrong just like us and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's an individual though, you know what I'm saying? So treat people as an individual and shit. Stop trying to group people into one fucking thing, into one mindset and one group of thinking, because we not all gonna think the same. We not all gonna agree at shit. We can all agree to disagree and shit, and still walk by side and shit on some cool shit like we always been. Niggas be having barbershop talk all the time and shit. Niggas ain't always agreeing and shit. They debate all the time. Have barbershop talk. Niggas still be cool and shit. Have basketball talk, football talk, sports talk, and all that shit. Debates and shit. Niggas still be cool and shit. And them shits get real aggressive. Niggas be cool and shit, man. So, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's all. Shit. That shit, we out this bitch.
Oh, where do I begin? I want a better lifestyle, chasing Benjamins. Ignorance forced me to act out, trying not to sin, but I'ma focus my energy to live, stunt, and win. Y'all don't hear me though, acting like you know, but you don't really know. Nigga going this tough shit, I'ma have to get physical. No people looking at me like what's gotten into you. Nothing, a nigga just tired of the bullshit, tired of the wish I woulda could shit, tired of people looking at me like they too good shit. Fuck that, where the love at? I thought I had that. Coming up, doing good for yourself, that all comes back. Don't got time for fake people to be fake. I got bread to make, roll up a fat one to keep me straight. My mind's awake, I need that interest, that good percentage. I'm on a mission, my palm is itching, just keep on winning, nigga.